The controversy regarding a new cell tower in the northeast part of town continues, though the project itself has been put on hold. The city has ordered a study of the cell tower's radio effects, and the Planning Commission hearing won't be held until after the study is complete, sometime early next year. But the issue of cell towers is one that's been important to me. Back in October 2017, the city modified its rules regarding cell towers. I asked the right questions at the meeting regarding concerns from the public on these new towers.
If this ordinance passes, when the, okay, so it passes with staff recommendation for say, does that allow a cell company to come in here and by right construct a tower so it would not be approved by anyone other than staff at that point?
In certain situations, it can. In preferred locations, if you take a look at what's proposed, there's areas of town like in manufacturing districts where there's nobody living close by and they don't necessarily need to be screened to the extent that we would like to see in a residential or commercial commercial area. Yes, they potentially could do that.
I also had an opportunity to question the cellular providers regarding issues of public safety, specifically on alternatives to objectionable cellular technology.
We're not technical people up here, but I have some technical questions.
Okay.
So this dovetails off of what you just talked about with capacity. Are there any alternatives to increasing cell density?
As far as, because for us it's either a large cell site or a small cell, so are you looking, I don't understand what you're looking for as far as alternative?
Yes, alternatives. You're talking about capacity, and the current capacity is going to be strained because more and more people are using mobile data. So beyond putting up more towers, more cells, are there other alternatives available to you?
Actually, no, which is why we're needing to do the small cells, because for us, the small cells is the alternative to putting up more macro towers.
Could you buy more spectrum?
Not at the moment, no.
But more spectrum could be available to you, and that would be one way to increase capacity.
I haven't checked to see what would become available. The last spectrum I believe that was purchased by T-Mobile, and it was in the 600 megahertz spectrum.
Okay.
Got a big chunk of that. I don't believe Verizon is looking to get more, and I don't know if more is available.
And it is expensive.
It is.
What about now, so a cell is capable of sectors, 3 sectors, is that correct?
Yes, as far as the large cell sites, we can sectorize, and what that does is there's a difference between an omni, which is it just transmits a signal 360 degrees. Sectorizing means that we can then choose different sections. You can make it to 3 sections, which helps increase capacity on that tower. Whereas small cells, we can use either an omni antenna, which does transmit at 360, or we use panel antennas, and we use that to focus to a specific area. It could be an area where a lot of people congregate, be it a sporting event or a downtown area. So we use panels to help focus. That's, I guess, technically kind of sectorizing in a sense. But
So could you go to 6 sectors on a tower, or on a cell?
that is capable, but a majority of our equipment is all 3-sector.
But these are still opportunities that are available to you to increase your
And
capacity.
like I said, I'm not on the macro side of the house. I'm a small cell person, so
Okay.
you're kind of stretching my limits as far as my technical knowledge.
Do you know anything about twin beam antennas?
It sounds like you're talking more into a Wi-Fi spectrum type.
Could be cellular too.
I'm not familiar with that.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to say that when I researched this, and I did, I wanted to look up alternatives that were being used around the globe for increasing capacity without increasing the number of cell towers.
Okay.
One of the items that I did bump across that hasn't been touched by anyone yet is electromagnetic radiation. So specifically, we're talking about non-ionizing radio frequency radiation, which is a concern. Are you aware of any legal limits imposed by the federal government regarding this type of radiation?
I don't know if this answers your question. I can tell you that one of the things that's off limits for local governments is to say yes or no to a site request based on RF emissions. That's strictly within the province of the FCC. And if a provider does not exceed those limits, there's nothing that a local government can do.
And here I speak out directly to the public's concerns regarding these towers.
So my concern is twofold. First of all, there are opportunities available to increase capacity using the existing infrastructure. It's just expensive. And I don't know how that, you guys are the ones who make that decision, and you are big business, unlike government, so money matters. So sorry. So the other thing is just the radio frequency. So you have people who are concerned, all the issues about high tension power lines, and people don't want those in their backyards. And so this is another issue that concerns me as a councilman. So now we're going to have an opportunity for someone to erect a tower. And yes, our concern so far, according to the ordinance, is that it look pretty. But we're going to get calls from people who are going to be concerned about the radiation, who are going to have questions. And when I researched this last night, there's a lot of issues all across the world of people, buildings that have these things erected on the top, and all of a sudden the incidence of cancer inside the building for the people who work there has gone up. And is there a relationship between having a cell tower near you and having a higher incidence of cancer? And so that would be a concern for me because I represent people. We can choose to carry a phone with us. We can't choose if some big company decides to put a cell tower right near us.
I also address issues of many concerns of our citizens. And remember, this was back in 2017.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question for Sean.
It's going to be a real hard one. Your last ones were really hard.
Yes. Has to do with the inverse square rule? No. I'm kidding. That was just
Pass.
for the nerd.
Dial a
That was a
friend.
joke for the nerds in the room. This, according to what I've understood now after all this good information, that if a tower is going to be coming up, say in a residential neighborhood, the person doing it has to apply for a special use permit.
Correct.
And special use permit requires that everyone within a given radius must be notified.
Yes, 300 feet.
Okay, so these things aren't going to come up stealthy. If I implied that earlier, I was mistaken.
It would require a public hearing, as you've said.
The city's rule since 2017 is that when a new cell tower is proposed, a public hearing must be held. As your councilman, your voice is important to me. I want to hear what you have to say. Only then will I make a decision. And that's what this new rule did. It protects you, your safety, and your voice. When it came time for the vote, I supported the city's decision to hold public hearings on new cell towers. Now, this vote doesn't support 5G technology or smart cities. That's an important issue. But it's also important to me that the city allow your voice to be heard at a public hearing.
Well, I like the fact that it is a special use permit. That means we're being transparent and we're inviting the public. We're sending them out letters and we're saying, this is going to happen, and what do you guys think? So it does allow them to weigh in on it. And if they say no, then they say no. I mean, they can deny the special use permit. That may involve other legal complications, but at least we're giving the public a chance to say no.
You can watch the full council meeting video, link below. I have always stood by the people. Yes, I did oppose the original rule that brought 5G to our city. But since then, as always, it's my goal to have your voice heard in City Hall. My record proves it. Vote Dan Gookin, Seat 3, Coeur d'Alene City Council, November 7th. Thank you.
So like earlier today, I was working in my car trying to do a hotspot from my phone to my computer for a conference call. I had service, there were bars, but it didn't work because whatever antenna I was trying to connect to, there were too many other users.
That's just Verizon. That's how.
Yeah, we're trying to fix it.